As I said before, you can't really go to do anything for yourself, or even you think you're doing something like running your business, or you're doing something for yourself. No, you're doing for a business. It's not for yourself. I would say it's the biggest misconception or misunderstanding of having your own business when it's only you, maybe a couple of more guys, and if you're not at work, business is suffering financially, strategically, you can name it. And like I said, it's nothing wrong with the business. It's a very typical situation. All the smaller shops and the smaller companies, they have that and they successful. And it's nothing wrong with it. But what I want to talk about the other side, when actually it's called planning strategy, and before you start registration, my recommendation, build the model of the business when business is gonna work for you. Meaning, if you're going to vacation or you get sick or you just decide to take the day off, business is operating like nothing happened. It doesn't mean you're not important. It's mean you choose the right people. You have the team and they work for you. Yeah, they will make more money. Some of these guys, they will have shares of your company or your organization, and that's normal. You have to share with people to depend on them. You can, that's like a lot of people saying, hey, you can motivate the people with, examples or, the work environment, give something to guys. But at the end of the day, it's a financial investment. So when you're choosing the team, you have to realize if you have no funds, you will share a certain percentage of your company with your key employees. And these key employees not necessarily is going to be same employees all the time. And I will talk about this later on about key employees, how the key employees in the first 1 through 3 years most likely will be changed to the different key employees in next 3 to 7 years. It's just because if your business grow, your needs are changing, your quality of people are changing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing. Like I said, it's two types of business. One, it's business when you work for a business, and second, it's when business works for you. So you have to choose what you want to do. So if you want to work for a business, it's nothing wrong with that. It's a good model, it's a proven model, and in this model, it's believe it or not, it's a lot less risk involved because you depend on yourself. But business is you. So once something happened to you, you have no business. Your family, if you have some savings, perfect. If you don't have a savings, your family, it will feel that stuff. But it's a less risk. You know what you're doing with your hands, with your knowledge. It's regardless the point. And second business, when you start relying on people, second model, it's relying on people, and business actually work for you. That's a lot more complicated. It is involved a lot more emotions, a lot more people, a lot more communications, and it is a lot more pressure on you as a leader. Because in the end of the day, you can have all kind of vice presidents, CEOs, CFOs. You can call it. You can have smartest board of directors. You still a guy or a girl who has the idea. In the end of the day, you may not going to be involved whatsoever on a day-to-day operations or day-to-day tasks. And specific about me, I'm terrible on daily tasks. Like if you want me to fail, give me the day-to-day task. I will fail miserably. Like I'm the guy with the ideas, and I know how to talk to people. I know how to sell the ideas. You can't sell the ideas without, just on promises of bright future. Nobody cares about that bright future. People care about today. They have family to feed, and if it will be a bright future, that's a great benefit. But it's a lot more pressure on you as the leader of the company, exponentially more than just second type of business. Well, I was told that that episode it's kind of coming out as extremely heavy and not really positive. But I'm not here to talk positive things. As I stated before, I'm here to explain what, from my standpoint of view, I'm not a guru. I'm not the smartest, way not the smartest person on the face of earth, but I've done some things and I think I can share that. So I want to explain people about your life is never going to be the same once you open up your own business. It's regardless of the end result, if it's going to be success or if it's going to be failure, your life is never going to be the same. Never. So be very careful. And people typically don't talk about this stuff. Like they talk about business ideas, they're talking about profits, they're talking about all kind of good stuff, but they rarely talk about what is your life will be after you open up your business. And it's a good thing if it's a successful business. What are you going to do if it's not successful business? I mean, you still live in a society. It's a good or bad. It's not for me to decide. But it is a society. We have, billions of people, and you are communicating with someone, interacting on a daily basis, and people will look at you as a successful businessman, and one day you close the door of your business. What are you going to do? Are you going to go back to job? You're going to go back and do the application and work for someone? Yes, but it's going to be complicated. Pretty much once you run your own business and it was semi-successful, I call this category of people not hireable. You can't find a job after that. You have to do something on your own for the rest of your life. Or you can put your ego all the way right there, in the bottom, and go get the job and work for it and receive your paycheck. That's the reality. I mean, it does sound brutal, but that's reality. And you will suffer for the rest of your life. Maybe it is exceptions when people actually gonna find a job and they're gonna be happy. So get back to the example. After I sold one of my business, actually it was the second business, I was doing consulting local in Chicago area. And one morning I went to work. I had a meeting at the Starbucks with the owner of the company, and I said to him, like, Mike, I've done everything what I can possibly do. Your company is in a good shape. I can't take money from you and not perform. And I quit. Came back home, tell my girlfriend I quit. It was a shock. If you think she supported, somebody's gonna support you, maybe sometime. But most of the cases, you will not receive any support. People wants to have a steady check. Once you're in business, that's a steady check. It's a myth. And I quit. So let's get back to the businesses. Like I said, don't anticipate you will have a support. If you will have a support from people who depend on you, you're lucky guy or lucky girl. I will applaud to everybody who's got a support. But don't take this to the ground, like, I will have support. Most likely you will not. People will look at you and ask why. Why did you do that? We used to receive X amount of dollars every 2 weeks. We used to go to vacation. We used to have X amount of dollars for a mortgage, for a car payment, our kids' school, and now you want to do something which is Maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's gonna not. So be very strong-minded person. You can't, like, people who got a tendency for depression, stay away from the business. That's gonna hurt you. It will hurt you like no tomorrow. But people who has a passion for something, yes, my recommendation, go do your own thing. You will be successful. If it's a passion, you will be successful. So what you do as the human, all your life? That's a good question. What do you do? All your life. You were born, you went to the school, you went to the college, you went to the university, you get your degree, you got your job, you have your family, kids, grandkids. What do you do all your life? In my opinion, and I could be wrong, you sell yourself. Once you meet a lady or a boy, you want to impress them. That's called selling. You sell yourself. It's a good thing if you're honest about it, and I do recommend people always being honest about whatever you do. It doesn't mean you need to say everything, just don't lie. Lying, it's not gonna get you anywhere. But you sell yourself. And if you're a good salesperson, you're gonna be okay with your own business, but you have to have management skills as well. But business is very similar to life. Like what I was trying to say, all your life, maybe you don't think this way, but you sell yourself. You sell yourself in school, you sell yourself to parents, you sell like how good you are, what you can do. You can take anything what you do in your life and you sell yourself. So, and if you're a good salesperson, your life is going to be okay. If you're a bad salesperson, well, you need to step back, look at what you have done, what you could do differently, and regroup and come back again. I'm trying to say, your life is sales, regardless. And you have to be professional in your life. So it starts not from business, it starts from you. Years ago, actually, I was having dispute with group of friends, and we're talking about knowledge, success, and I did say one statement. I said, knowledge is bad. Like when you're in school, your teacher's telling me like, knowledge is good. The more you know, the happier you are. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. At this point, I wish I would not know certain things. Never in my life. It would make my life easier. And I will give you the example. Maybe some people are gonna think it's a really terrible example, but it's just an example. So, if you're gonna judge and put your reviews and hate hate me, by all means. But years ago, I was not teenager. I was probably probably early 20s, and I was overseas in Belarus, and I was driving the subway. I was running again. I was running my own business back then with a couple of more guys. We were selling the tools. So we used to buy pretty much the tools from the factories because it was a huge deficit on everything. I'm talking about food, products, everything. You can't buy anything. So just because we had the connections, we used to buy the tools from the manufacturers and resell them to the dealers. And I was driving in the subway and I saw the young couple. It was a girl and a boy. As you can see it, the way how they dress and that they're most likely financially they're struggling, but he's got one rose, and obviously it was for her, and they were driving next to me, and the way how they hold each other's hands and look at each other, I can tell nothing else was exist for them. It was only them. It was two of them. That was whole universe for them. And they're really, really happy. And that when it's the first time it clicked me like, okay, so they are most likely working, not in the most well compensated jobs. They probably don't live in the most, not most, but not in the best neighborhoods. Maybe they go to the grocery stores and buy not most expensive products, but they're happy. So that was my answer to all the time when I was in school. Teachers tells me like knowledge is power, now knowledge is going to bring you happiness. No, it's not. Sometimes I think if I would be dumber, I'm not saying I'm not dumb, but even more dumber, I probably would be a lot more happier. I would just wake up in the morning, I would go to work, then I go buy my beer, sit in front of the TV, and that's my life. And nothing wrong with that life. That's the beauty of it. It's nothing wrong with that life. It's just a life. You just enjoy yourself. But once you start dig into the information and we're all surrounded by information, especially right now, in the last 10 years, the all access to the information was changed so rapidly, and it's never gonna be the same. 15 years ago, we would go to the gas station. What we would do first thing as soon as we walk in a gas station? We would grab the newspaper. How many people grabbing the newspaper right now? They all go, including myself, I just go on my phone and I read the news because it's very easy accessible. You have to be very careful with knowledge. I know how to even, it's pretty much I'm telling people like, hey guys, stay dumb. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the more you know, the more you want. The more you want, then unhappier you are at that particular moment because you already have a dream. You want to go Mexico, you want to go Costa Rica, you want to go Europe, you want to travel the world. What do you need to do to have all this stuff? You obviously need to have more money. What do you need to do to have more money? Or go to your boss and sell yourself and increase your salary, change the job to a different company. And I went through a lot of interviews when I used to hire people, and yeah, it is a type of people who actually jump from one place to other place, every year and a half, because they want to increase their pay grade. It's one way of doing it, but people who does this stuff just a spoiler alert, the people who actually does take interviews, they actually see that. So they know exactly what you're doing. So that's one way of doing it, you have a knowledge, you want to go somewhere, you need more money. You need more money, you go to your boss, you increase your pay grade, or if you're not successful, you quit and you try to open up your own business. But it's based on knowledge of what you want to do. So once you get more knowledge, you pretty much have much broader view on everything, and obviously your needs are going higher. Once your needs going higher, you need to support your needs. So if you're failed and getting more, or not failed, I don't want to say failed. Sometimes you just reach the maximum out of the position or a company where you're currently at. It's normal. Listen, if you're just mid-sized manager and the company doesn't look for anything else, you better look for another company. That's true. But let's say you decide to leave and you want to do something on your own. And I've done this multiple times. Before you open up your own business, you're in the process of boiling. You're thinking about this stuff. You don't know what to do. You're afraid of a lot of different things. But in the end of the day, and it did happen with me every single time when I open up the business, it's very simple. You have to wake up in the morning and just start doing it. Whatever time you're spending on overthinking, not thinking, I'm talking about overthinking. That's a too big differences. You have to think, but overthinking, it's not necessarily a good thing. So once you hit the wall and you don't know what to do, just, wake up in the morning, take the shower, brush your teeth, have your coffee or tea or whatever you guys, having on your morning, or girls, and just start doing something step by step. It will come. If you think you're gonna be 100% prepared to do something, you're wrong. You're not going to have 100%, you're never going to be 100% ready to change something. You just have to change it, it's all. You have to prepare for one thing. That's what you need to be prepared for. You need to be prepared for consequences. So that's my recommendation. Once you do the stuff, think about the consequences on every single step what you're doing. It's very similar to life. When you're taking, your girlfriend or boyfriend to the movie, and you're taking the next step, what you're trying to achieve? Are you trying to, just get another date and you're bored, or you actually like the person and you want to have something more solid and something more serious? So that's called consequences. And you have to be ready for it. So once you decide to leave your job, open up your business, it's always going to be consequences. And consequences can be a positive and can be a negative, as long as they're balanced together. Consequences, like one thing, if consequences will affect only you, it's a lot easier. But unfortunately, in the modern ages, you always surrounded by people, so it will affect in some way or shape or form people who is closest to you. So if you think the consequences will not bring harm to people around you, go for it. Even if you're gonna fail, people will forgive you, or they will understand because you tried your best. But it's again, don't think about yourself. I don't know how to say this stuff, and I was told by a lot of people, you always have to think about yourself first. And sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree with that statement. In that particular, when when you thinking about opening up your own business, you need to think about people, not only yourself. It's not the main person. You are the leader. You are the guy with the idea, or a girl with the idea, or a person with the idea. But your actions will affect life people around you. So to finish that, like I said, be true to yourself, have plan. And I will go deeper into the details later in the next episode, but for now, thank you for watching us. Once again, it's as real as you, and see you next time.